All right, what's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father, Amazon Kindle Create Space. If you hear that, I've been trying to figure that shit out for the longest. What the fuck it is. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't fucking get it right now. I'm just going to get a different mic eventually and just say fuck it. Why NFL ratings have dipped? I got a number of reasons why. One, the protests. You know, people didn't like to see that in this country that we're making great again. So they didn't want to watch it. I've come across fans who are like, I just don't want to watch it because, you know, they're kneeling for the flag. What about the veterans? That bullshit. It's just a dumb excuse, but that's what it was. The political climate after that, you know, which is another problem. The refereeing turns people off because, damn, I mean, I wear different hats, but I'm a Saints fan. Boy, you know people in New Orleans hot right now. But the refs been fucking up for years. You know, you right there, you don't see shit. You got instant replay. It shows you that, you know, you should have made the call or you made the wrong call. You still sometimes say you still fucked that up. So the refereeing throws people off too. Roger Goodell. You know, his hypocrisy. You know, Ray Rice to Josh Brown. That's hypocrisy. Add to the fact that the Patriots got two NFL championships when they were caught cheating. Two. You know, one was under Tagliabue, one was under Goodell. You know, you can't respect the integrity of the game if you can't reprimand people for cheating. If you can cheat and still win, there is no integrity of the game. You know, protecting the quarterback position is another reason. Because the face of the league is changing because Peyton Manning is gone, Tom Brady's almost out of there. You know, Drew Brees is a top tier quarterback, but people they're not gonna look at him as the face of the league per se. And the young and upcoming quarterbacks, the stars are right now are what, Cam Newton, Odell Beckham, Von Miller, you know, J.J. Watt, but he's hurt this year, so you know you can't hang your hat on the quarterback no more, which I think have been one of the most overrated positions ever because I want to explain something to y'all. You realize Jerry Rice was never the MVP of the NFL. You realize he set a record and wasn't the MVP. There were 3 2,000-yard rushes in maybe the last 15 years. Only one of them been an MVP. Calvin Johnson broke the single-season receiving record. Wasn't the MVP. Randy Moss broke, what record was that? The touchdowns in the season for a receiver. Wasn't the MVP. Now LT and Sean Alexander, I think they won the MVP the years that they did stuff like that. But people say you know quarterbacks outshine, but the problem with that is when you're not the best player and you're still the MVP, that's just like when Peyton Manning, you know, they gave him a co-MVP twice, I want to say. You know, it was with Steve McNair and somebody else. You know, they always throw these motherfuckers in here for co-MVPs when they shouldn't be that way. So that fucks up the game. You know, I think another reason is the draft. You know, GMs, coaches, Mel Kiper, Todd McShay. You know, you got these coaches with egos. Oh, well, I'm going to start with the draft. Every year, this player is great because he's big, he's strong, he's fast, he jumps, he looks good in tights. And every year, 20 of them motherfuckers bust. Your best players come from the second to the 6th round. You know, when you look at the stars in the NFL, most of them are not first-round draft picks. But they're the best players. So the eye for talent is ridiculous. And you can tell that on the field because a lot of these players, you can't judge people's actual skill or work ethic or their ceiling to get better. So now you got a lot of people just cheering for people who are busters. That's when I was getting to the coaches and the general managers. Coaches can't coach anymore. Say what you want to. Most of these teams, these cities had certain styles. There's a Pittsburgh style of football, a Chicago style of football, a San Francisco style, a Oakland Raiders style of football. And these coaches come in and they don't draft the players for the style that works for the city and team and organization that they with. They do some other bullshit and it doesn't fucking work. They don't know what they're doing. And then they blame the players. Oh, the players, no. You fuckers can't coach. I see the moves y'all make. And I think that's the intelligence of the fans can see it's a lot of bullshit that's going on. You getting rid of players to draft players. He's just like the player we got rid of. What the fuck are you doing? So and ultimately it's the parity. You can't hang your hat on most organizations anymore. People are salivating at the mouth for the day for the day when Tom Brady retires to see how the Patriots are going to work. Then it's going to be interesting, But these are some of the reasons. There's some more. The rule changes where you can't do shit. You can't touch a receiver, but a receiver could do this. Every time I see a pass thrown, I'm seeing a receiver running. Get off me. That's not interference. That's bullshit. I'm just saying. I'm out. Peace.